Good afternoon, everyone. I am Thomas Albuquerque, a doctoral student in music, specializing in musicology and creative processes at the State University of Santa Catarina, UDESC, Brazil. It is an honor for me to participate in the world's largest Progressive Rock Studies Congress and to share a bit about the research I am conducting in my PhD. R.I.O in Brazil, a brief assessment on rock in opposition and the avant-garde in Brazil. This first question, which gives the title to this work, arose from research I was conducting on the progarchives.com website, searching for Brazilian bands listed on the site. To my surprise, there were two artists that I did not expect to see on the list: Arrigo Barnabé and Tom Zé. But before commenting on these artists, we must first try to understand what progressive rock is. Many people associate this genre with symphonic progressive rock like Yes, Genesis, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. As scholars, we know this is a somewhat simplistic view, and prog goes far beyond that. Prog includes a fusion of various musical poetics like jazz, folk music, baroque music references, and inherently carries the romantic ideal of total work of art. And of course, there is psychedelia. After all, progressive rock is a child of the counterculture of late 1960s. In an effort to define prog and its characteristics, Professor John Kovacs coined the concept of hip aesthetic. That's the main topics of the hip aesthetic: virtuosity, lyrism, use of the technology, conceptual albums, and musical ambition. The golden years of prog could be said to be from 1969 to 1976, when artists gradually moved away from the hip aesthetic and became more commercial. And in its period, after 1976, there was a resistance movement called rock in opposition, or the artists of this movement retained the hippie aesthetic and add contemporary characteristics of 20th century concert music, like regular use of dissonance and atonality, extremely complex and unpredictable song arrangements, free or experimental improvisation, fusion of disparate music genres, polyrhythms and highly complex time signatures. And now we arrive in Brazil and the Vanguarda Paulista movement. Remembering that at this time Brazil was under a military dictatorship, the Vanguarda Paulista was a musical and cultural movement that emerged in São Paulo in late 1970s and early 1980s, characterized by experimentation and innovation in Brazilian popular music, influenced by tropicalismo, rock and jazz. Its artists sought to break away from the commercial and aesthetic standards of time by integrating elements of classical music, poetry, and theater. Among its main names are Arrigo Barnabé, Itamar Assunção, Grupo Rumo, and Premeditando Breck, who stood out for their original compositions, often featuring ironic lyrics, complex arrangements, and unusual sounds. The movement played a significant role in São Paulo's alternative scene, contributing to diversity and renewal of Brazilian music. Well, let's talk about Arrigo Barnabé. Arrigo Barnabé never identified himself as a rocker. He always had a vision as a composer immersed in the avant-garde. We hear rock sound, especially in instrumentation. In Brazil, Arrigo is known as a reference in the contemporary avant-garde music. But the hip aesthetic is present. His albums are conceptual, his music is complex, his lyricism comes from urban references and comic books, always loaded with irony. Now we're here, the song Orgasmo Total.
Sim, eu sei. Todo mundo que vai num drive-in espera conseguir pelo menos um orgasmo total. Você me falou assim: vem, bebe, sirva-se de mim. E a luz se apagou. Então eu senti na pele você, seu corpo em febre.
Juro que eu nunca imaginei, amor.
Nunca imaginei. Ah, quanta sensualidade. Meu bem, você estava muito sensual.
Juro que eu nunca imaginei.
Eu nunca, nunca. Ah, quanta eletricidade. Você estava mesmo
Fatal e parecia
louca,
como um animal,
dizendo aqueles palavrões, tá pedindo mais, até chegarmos ao orgasmo total.
orgasmo total, até chegarmos ao orgasmo total. Orgasmo total, até chegarmos ao orgasmo total. Orgasmo total, até chegarmos ao orgasmo total. Orgasmo total.
Você me falou assim: vem, bebe, sirva-se de mim. E a luz se apagou. Então eu senti na pele você, seu corpo em febre.
Juro que eu nunca imaginei.
Eu nunca imaginei. Ah, tanta sensualidade. Quanta sensualidade, meu bem. Você estava muito sensual mesmo.
Juro que eu nunca imaginei, amor.
Nunca, nunca! Ah, quanta eletricidade! Você estava mesmo
Fatal, me parecia
louca!
como um animal,
Dizendo aqueles palavrões,
gemendo.
pedindo mais, puxa vida, meu bem, como é bom! Até chegarmos ao orgasmo total!
Orgasmo total, até chegarmos ao orgasmo total. Orgasmo total, trazido pelo reimpulso postal.
Você também pode ser como eles? Você também pode conseguir o seu orgasmo total? Peça já pela caixa postal 6969 o seu exemplar de O Orgasmo ao alcance de todos. É um feliz orgasmo, ouvinte!
Another artist mentioned on the Progect site was Tonze, a participant in the pre-Tropicalia countercultural movement. Tonze was the most avant-garde composer of the Tropicalia, and perhaps the main inspiration for the emergence of Vanguarda Paulista. Often participating in the same festivals at universities and theaters, Tonze has a background in composition and conducting. From the Federal University of Bahia, he was immersed in the world of 20th century composition at the university, analyzing and composing with post-tonal music materials, and yet, as he came from the countryside, he brings a lot of folk music from his region. Let's hear Nave Maria.
pedindo a passagem pela barreira, sangrando, rasgando, subindo a ladeira. Orgasmo invertido, gritei quando vi. Já estava respirando.
Listening to these artists and comparing them with the European movement, there are indeed some similarities, not necessarily rock, also it appears in certain moments, but from these more questions arise. How the weird music is rock in opposition? How the complex music with rock ensemble is progressive rock? How are the limits of the subgenres in progressive rock? I haven't an answer. The debate about the classifications is open, and now that musicalities are welcome to prog. How are we going to limit these categories? Prog is one of the most democratic styles because it incorporates many different musicalities without abandoning rock. But we must be careful when making classifications so as not to be led into error. It is possible that prog enthusiasts will enjoy the music of Tropicalia and the Vanguarda Paulista movements with great musical richness, but it is prog. Would calling it prog not be a way of colonizing these musicalities? Thank you so very much. I'm sorry for my broken English. I'm learning it. See you on the next Progect conference. My references. Hope you enjoy. Bye bye.